Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Designing Beyond the Studio. Today we are with.
Hey everyone, my name is Sam. I am a fifth-year student at NJIT after having transferred from UCNJ.
Could you share a bit about your journey and what inspired you to pursue architecture?
So my journey is unique in the sense that I began architecture very late. I was actually 28 years old and I enrolled at UCNJ as a community college endeavor. And after 2 years, I crossed over the big mountain of a 5-year bachelor program at NJIT. My journey honestly was very different than most likely someone who graduated high school, because I had to organize so many other elements of my life, from my marriage, my work, and reacclimating to being in school again.
What aspects of architecture fascinates you the most, and how have your interests evolved since you began your studies?
I think the one thing that really captivated me about architecture is that it is a project-based industry. There was something that I really wanted to avoid in regards to working for a company or in an industry where you don't always see what you're working on. So the fact that it was a project-based industry and career was exciting, because personally I always excelled at things that involved a lot of visionary work. So I loved the two. I loved that there was a mixture between the physical world and the design world. And I think architecture kind of bridges those two really well.
How was your time at UCNJ shape your approach to design and architecture? Any projects, experience?
My time at UCNJ was unique because off the gates, I was really excited to be back in academia. I had spent about 10 years away from any formal academic environment. So for me, off the bat, I was really looking forward to it. My time at UCNJ was shaped through a rediscovery of both myself and how I would apply myself to studies and a professional career. And what UCNJ provided me with was that framework to have the boundaries beyond myself. I think we all enjoy being creative, but it's very difficult to cross over that threshold when someone is pushing you and setting, expectations on you. So UCNJ was good at that, at putting expectations for deliverables in my life.
What was the biggest challenge you faced when transitioning from a community college to a 5-year degree program?
So personally, to me, the biggest challenge that I faced in transferring from community college to NJIT was definitely the financial mountain. I think that as an immigrant in this country, you don't have as many resources or access to making that cross possible. So I think that the transfer of NJIT in regards to my credits was pretty easy if it was well, but having to pay for my first initial years at NJIT was, especially because it was out of pocket. I wasn't able to get any financial aid, so that was my biggest mountain.
What's the most rewarding part of studying architecture at NJIT, and how do you balance creativity with the demands of the program?
The most rewarding part about studying architecture at NJIT is how it's all encompassing of who you are. Like, it's not just something that you do, but it truly is something that you are becoming. Like, in the beginning, I could say, like, I would do architecture. Now I am truly becoming an architect. The lens by which I look at the world has transformed, and I'm bringing in all these elements of the architectural discourse into my day-to-day activities. So I think the most rewarding thing has been that to put on a new set of perspectives into the world. And the second thing I would also say is the community of studio and the friends that I've met at NJIT.
Any projects that you are proud of, and can you tell us a little bit about the design process, and what do you learn from it?
I think that as an architecture student, we're always going to wrestle with the idea that we're never completing projects. We might make it to deadlines and we may make it to presentations, but in our minds and in the innermost core of who we are in regards to our own projects, we know that they're unfinished work. The thing that I'm the most proud about is to have reconciled that desire to finish my project on my own terms and to have developed that discipline. So for me, I don't have a formal portfolio to show people, but I have a space in my life where I can go and start working on any of those given projects, and that's something that I've enjoyed a lot.
How do you stay inspired and keep your creativity?
How do I stay inspired? I'm sure inspiration kind of births in different places for different people. For me, it truly is my faith and my belief in God. I believe that God is a creator. He's an architect of all of reality. So as I pursue my relationship with God, all the more I can see a lot of parallels and a lot of crossover in how it affects architecture. So truly like growing to know Jesus, reading my Bible, being plugged in with different communities that support my faith has been one of those things that just propelled my joy to create.
What advice would you give students considering a degree in architecture? Is anything you wish you knew when you started?
All right, listen up. So I'm about to give you guys the advice that I wish I got. So architecture is not easy. It takes a long time for you to make money. It takes a long time for you to actually get to a line where you're like fulfilled as an architect. You're gonna go through school and you're still not gonna be an architect. You're gonna graduate, you're still not an architect. You're gonna work for some firm for who knows how many years, you're still not an architect. It's until you finally pass your licensing and you have like a firm or a place where you can legally in New Jersey, actually in all of the US, where you can be considered an architect. So if you're doing it for the lights, if you're doing it for the allure of the name of being an architect, you have to have so much more content to go by than that. So my warning would be look really deeply at the length of time that it takes for you to be fulfilled as an architect, because it's a long journey. So look into that.
Well, thank you very much for being at the Design Beyond the Studio.
Thanks for having me.